here throughout. This is our last presentation of the day, and this is also a group that worked with me this semester.
Woohoo! Okay, so we're going to be continuing our discussion about cold plunging. My name's Barrett. I'm Jess.
I'm good.
And this is Cold Plunge Clear Mind, how cold water immersion reduces stress during college student exams.
Okay, here's a brief overview of our presentation. We're going to start with the introduction, get into the aim of the study, the methods, the results, future directions, and then we'll have time for questions.
Okay, so why college students and why college students are a unique population to study. College students are a population that commonly experience high levels of stress, particularly due to their academic demands, and these stressors include heavy coursework, frequent exams, time management challenges, and pressure to succeed. And previous research shows that chronic stress can negatively impact cognitive functioning, and such as focus, memory, and decision making, which are all very critical for academic success. And in addition to academic effects, high stress levels also impact students' anxiety, burnout, and sleep deprivation. These challenges can even be more pronounced in high-demand majors where workload and expectations are greater, and because of this, college students are an important population for studying the effects of performance in the classroom and overall well-being. Like we've already previously discussed a little bit, what exactly is cold water immersion and why is it important? Cold water immersion is known to be submerging the body in cold water, typically between 50 to 59 degrees Fahrenheit, for therapeutic or physiological benefits. As you may know, it's a common practice used by athletes, but research shows that it may actually do more than just reduce soreness in the body. Cold water immersion can improve circulation, reduce inflammation, and improve overall well-being, and it is a practice that may actually reduce perceived stress. More recently, researchers have started looking at how cold water exposure may affect mental processes like focus, stress regulation, and emotional control, which is why it's also important. And some examples of cold water immersion are cold showers, cold plunges, and ice baths. So how does stress impact academic performance? Stress can be bad and can negatively affect us, and stress directly impacts academic performance. Stress plays a significant role in academic performance among students, while moderate levels of stress, known as acute stress, can sometimes enhance focus and alertness. Chronic stress has consistently been shown to have negative effects. Chronic stress can impair concentration, reduce memory retention, and negatively impact decision-making skills, all of which are essential for academic success. And research also shows that higher stress levels are associated with lower test scores and decreased overall academic performance in the classroom. As a result, managing stress is an important factor in improving student performance and outcomes. And so overall, while small amounts of stress may be beneficial, prolonged stress can create significant barriers to academic success. So what exactly is our aim of the study? We looked at biochemistry students because we thought that they are a higher stress population because of the amount of workload that they have and rigor of the course that they are experiencing. So the current study aims to use a randomized control repeated measures experimental design to assess the impact of cold plunging on college students in a real-world stressful situation for exams. No studies to date have done a well-controlled assessment of cold plunging on stress.
So for our study, we hypothesized that when students cold plunge, we would see a decrease in stress, but also we would see an improvement on their exam scores. So for our study, we recruited all of our participants from Dr. Cato's biochem courses. Both of those took place on Tuesday and Thursdays at 8 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. We excluded individuals where they might have some health conditions that would make it unsafe for them to cold plunge. Our original sample size started off with 33 participants, but due to various reasons, we had 5 people drop out, which brought our final sample size to 28 participants.
Okay, for our measures, like Garrett previously mentioned, for our other study, we used the state trait anxiety inventory, the depression, anxiety, and stress scale, also known as DAS-21, the Copenhagen burnout inventory, exam grades of the participants, self-reported health, and self-reported stress.
So at the time of consenting, All of the participants did a baseline survey that measured their levels of stress and other self-reported health measures. And then after this, we randomized our participants into either the cold group or the control group. The cold group consisted of a 2-week acclimation period where participants would come into the cold lab an hour before their class for a 2-minute cold plunge. Like Garrett said, participants were instructed to pretend like they were sitting in a chair when they were in the cold tub with their arms rested on the sides of the cold tub. And then the control group, we had people come in to Terrier Grounds where they would come and check in with one of us, and they would sit for 2 minutes and then they would leave and go about their day. And then on exam day, both the cold group and the control group did the same exact thing. So they would either come into cold plunge or they would come in to check in before their exam. As you can see here, so people that were originally in the cold plunging group for exam 1 after their first exam, they switched over into the control group. And then those that were originally in the control group switched over into the cold plunging group for the second exam where they did the same exact procedure for their following exam. On the day of their exam, participants completed a stress scale at 4 different time points within their exam. So at time 1, participants completed this stress scale right before their exam started. At time 2, they did this 30 minutes into their exam. At time 3, they did this right before they turned in their exam. And then at time 4, participants received a Qualtrics survey 2 hours after their exam where they completed the stress scale. And as you can see, they would just ask, how stressed do you feel right now? And they would they had 0 to 10. They could report whatever they wanted. So our results indicate a main effect of condition. So when cold plunging, we can see that the participants were overall less stressed than when they were in the control group. Our results also indicate a main effect of time. So throughout the entirety of the exam, all of the participants were stressed across the board. But as time went on, their stress levels decreased. We didn't see an interaction, but even though there wasn't an interaction, time points show that at the beginning of the exam, results were approaching significance with no significant results in the middle of their exam, but we did see significant results when they turned their exams in and 2 hours after their exam, suggesting that the cold group, when they were in the cold group, they experienced a significant decrease in stress compared to when they were in the control group.
Okay, here are results for reported exam scores. A paired sample t-test was conducted in order to look at the differences in accuracy between the cold plunge group and the control group. The data shows that participants' exam grades from the cold plunge and when they were in the control group, because like we said previously, they switched to both groups. They showed there was no significant difference in the reported exam scores. And then future directions, we said that we would replicate in different classroom settings, so have it like in lectures, labs, and online classes to kind of switch it up some. An environment, testing different types of stressful environments and examine whether different stressors such as academic, social, or time pressure stress affects performance differently. And then sample size, we would attain a larger sample size, which would improve the reliability and generalizability of the results. And then in conclusion, our study shows preliminary evidence that cold plunging may help with emotion regulation and stress reduction.